SwayamPrabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome students, welcome friends. I am very happy that we are going to discuss something very interesting today in this session. It is about the Arthashastra and the Guna theory, and we will try to understand what is the application in the Indian management. The usual disclaimer that I am an independent director in a lot of companies and also I am a visiting faculty in some institutes. But whatever I am going to say is completely my own personal view and it has got nothing to do with any of the companies where I am associated with. So we know of this very famous person known as Chanakya, He was an economist and a strategist. He was a great scholar, but it so happened that at that point of time, one of the kings, King Nandavangsh, he insulted Kautilya. So, and Kautilya was very much interested that whole of India must stand united, because otherwise if India is not united, then we will be weak against the foreign forces. But Maharaja Nand thought that he does not want an advice from a simple scholar. So Chanakya, what he did was, he said that I am going to create my own emperor, and he created Chandragupta Maurya, and that was perhaps one of the golden era of our Indian civilization. Not only did he create the king, he left behind his Arthashastra, and we are going to now see whether that Arthashastra still has got some important lessons for us or not. So this was 4th century BC. It is one of the oldest treatise on statecraft, economics and governance. I like to believe that they are still relevant today in your business, politics, leadership and management. Earth is wealth creation, and he says that economic stability is a key to a strong state. Now don't you think, friends, that that is true for business also, that the business must be able to create a surplus. And roughly we are telling that about 4,000 companies trade regularly in the Indian stock market. But from 1980, if you look at the number of IPOs that has happened, and if you add them all up, it will run into many more than this 4,000. So that means many companies which had come out in the Indian stock market, they collapsed because they did not follow the basic financial principles. Many times now also we are finding that many companies are able to get very high valuation even though they don't generate cash flows and profits. In the long term, friends, if you don't generate cash flows and profits and you just go for a valuation and burn the cash, it will not be sustainable. The Raj Dharma, or the duties of a king or a leader, as per the Chanakya, his main work, though he is the king, he has to prioritize the well-being of the people. That is his most important work, and we like to believe that even for the CEO of a company, whereas strategy is important, structure is important, systems is important, but customer delight is important, but employee delight is critical. Otherwise, you will not be able to create your customer delight also if the employees are not happy. So what did Kautilya say? That we individuals are there, but he was below the family and the family was below the community. And as far as production was concerned, the 4 agents of production are always the same that we learn in modern economics: land, labor, capital and organization was recognized. So, look at the beauty that we read economics from Western books, Paul Samuelson, Lord Keynes, Adam Smith, but much before that our own Chanakya was able to identify the factors of production. It always puts issues of social welfare very first, the collective ethics which will hold a society together, right? And he advised a king that in times and in areas which are devastated by famine, we used to have epidemic, plague used to happen, cholera used to happen, and there will be epidemic, and that particular village or that area would get devastated. So he advised to the king, even if a war happens, the whole state will be in deep trouble. So he advised that the government then should initiate public projects such as creating roads, irrigation, waters, etc. So does it not resonate to what is happening today? That the government says, okay, because the GDP is not growing fast, we must increase our infrastructure spending. So Chanakya said this so many years back, and it is relevant even today. So what is the leadership lessons? One thing he said, we have been discussing that in our previous sessions also, about servant leadership. A king or leader should consider himself as a servant of the people. There was no election that time, but even though you are by birth you become the king, and when you think of king, you think of a palace and grandeur. But what is Chanakya saying? That you have to think that you are a servant of the people. You have to serve the society, even though you are the king. And the decision making should be based on practicality. Idealism should not overshadow realistic policies. इतना ही आप आदर्श में चले गए कि you are totally divorced from the realities of life. For example, if any king or any head of the government thinks that I will just be happy within myself, and he does not build a strong defense, then he can easily be attacked by a foreign power. So it is very important that he should be aware of what is happening globally, and accordingly not be in a kind of a realist, foolish world, but something which is very realistic. And because one person cannot do everything, he must create a team of able ministers, like we have this board of directors concept in the office. So he should be able to trust and empower capable ministers. Ethical yet strategic governance. Morality is important, but so is pragmatism. So do you think these ideas are resonating with you? That whereas ethics is there, but when you are handling a country or even when you are handling a company, it is very important that you are a pragmatic person, you are a practical person. We have discussed, many times we are told that when you are talking of, that this guy is a monk of an ashram, we somehow feel that money is a bad thing. But the best part of our Indian ethos of Hinduism is that we do not think that wealth creation is a bad thing. We call it Shubh Labh. So a strong economy ensures long-term stability. It is very important that the fiscal deficit, the current account deficit should be under check, and we should have a strong macroeconomy. When you have risk management, risk will always be there. It cannot happen that there will be no risk. But what is important is, are you managing the risk well? If this event happens, what is your contingency plan? If that risk happens, what is your contingency plan? If that risk happens, risk can come from all sides. So what is your contingency plan? That is very important. We are talking of HR now, and Chanakya spoke of employee motivation so many thousands years before. So what did he say? That you have to reward efficiency and punish corruption. So we tell na, give incentives to good employees and do an appraisal. And because when you have corrupt government officers, basically they eat into the whole system and don't allow the benefits of good governance to percolate down to the lowest end of society. So therefore, he said that if you can identify those people, the corruption must be punished and efficiency must be rewarded. So, dear students and friends, this is what is modern management, right? We are giving ESOPs, for example, to reward your efficient employees. You want to bring that oneness together. Now, this in a different way was told by our Chanakya so many years back. Today there is agitation on fair wages, and in Arthashastra, Chanakya said about fair wages and employee rights. Workers should be paid fairly to ensure loyalty. We all want, if I am an entrepreneur, I have 1,000 people working, I definitely want them to be loyal and to give the best to me. One of the ways is that we must pay them a fair amount of wages. Economic self-sufficiency. So we are always talking of a trade deficit, balance of payments in modern economics today. And Chanakya said that so many years back, that you must not depend on foreign goods. It is true that no country can efficiently produce all the goods, but over dependence on foreign goods, especially on strategic goods, should not be there. We are talking today the government must spend in infrastructure to boost our GDP growth. And 1,000 years back, our great man Chanakya had said, investment in infrastructure, good roads, trade networks and agriculture boost prosperity. So don't you feel that I am reading this from a modern textbook of Samuelson or Adam Smith? But the best part is all these things are already there. Only thing that we don't think it's fashionable to read our own Arthashastra. You tell me, if you do a survey, out of 1,000 students of your friends, only few would have known the Arthashastra properly. But it's a treasure house. So my session is only putting that small incentive catalyst for you. You have to now take interest to know it and feel very proud, self-confident that whatever the West is telling us, it is good, but it's already there before, much before that. Now we move to a very important concept from Arthashastra. We now move to Guna theory, and I can assure you, you are going to love this Guna theory. So this originates from the Sankhya philosophy in Hinduism and also discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. It explains the human behavior through 3 gunas or qualities: Sattva gun, Rajo gun and Tamo gun. So let us understand, you already know it maybe, but we will try to get into a little bit of depth. Every person that you meet, has a mixture of Sattva gun, Rajo gun and Tamo gun. One gun dominates and there are other gun and there is other gun. Let us understand, what is Sattva gun? Ideal state. He is free from attachment and vanity and unruffled in success and failures. So, it is an ideal state. Whether success happens, failure happens, this person is completely at ease. He is completely unruffled. So, what is the traits you see? Peace, equanimity, truthfulness, detachment, contentment. So, isn't this a state we want to be, that always in a state of contentment, shanti, and he is detached from the sense objects, not too much attached even to his family and relatives. And he is normally a very truthful person. He does not tell lies. Sometimes when I go and meet students face to face, I ask them, how many lies did you tell in a month? And one student gets up and says, sir, itna bola ki, so many have said that I not even count. We are always telling lies to our parents. We are telling lies to our teachers. We are telling lies to our boss. We are telling lies to our colleagues, and we feel all right. So, let us revalue our values. From Sattva Gun, we now move to Rajogun. What is the nature of Rajogun? He will be intense activity, very ambitious, always doing multiple things at the same time. He is interested in gratification of his five senses, always interested. For him, the body is more important. To make the body happy is more important. He is little interest in spiritual elevation. Now, I am discussing about this Bhagavad Gita we had and some other sessions. And let's say right now 1,000 students are observing this. But the interest among all 1,000 of you is not the same. Someone will say, oh, it's so nice. I must get more interest, I must read more from tomorrow. So, they are devoted more to the Sattvic Guna, Satogun. And Rajogun means, ये सब करके क्या होगा? ये सब किताब विताब पढ़ के फायदा नहीं है. Let me earn more money. So basically what happens, they are very envious type. They will say that this person is more, why is it that we are working together? Why is this person got a much higher salary? Why has he got a much higher perk? So he is always comparing and is very envious. And because of this nature of always trying to outperform the other person, he is a very anxious kind of person and nervous. The only thing for him what is important is the gratification of the senses and material things. Today he is buying this car, tomorrow he is selling that car, buying another car, 3-room flat, then 4-room flat, from 4-room flat, duplex bungalow. So he will be into materialistic things all the time. Then we come to person dominated with tamas or the tamogun. For him, it is dullness and lethargy. नींद नहीं टूटता है उसका. तो डैडी बोलते हैं तब भी नींद नहीं टूटता है. So he is always very आलसी. इसको हम लोग हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, आलसी है, एकदम डल है. When you are a student not interested in studies, office not interested in work, always tired, depressed, careless and sleeping too much. Whereas I told you that sleeping is very necessary for the for the rejuvenation of our health and mind. Tamogun means too much sleep. They get joy in sleeping all the time. So you do a survey. I do this survey, so I know. So I asked, what have you done on this Sunday? Today is Monday. What have you done Sunday? How was Sunday? Very good, sir. How was it? Sir, कल सवेरे 10 बजे उठे. हम 10 बजे उठे. Other students say, sir, 10 मैं तो 11 बजे उठा सर. One more student says, sir, मैं तो 12 बजे के बाद उठा. So the only joy in life is to sleep more and do unproductive things. So everyone, no one is 100% perfect. There is a mixture between every person will have a mix of sattvic, rajasic and tamogun. Sattva gun will represent balance, santulan and selflessness. So, he is not all the time thinking of himself. He is basically much more selfless. What it will lead to, there will be हर एक चीज़ का एक अंजाम होता है, consequence होता है. So if you follow more of sattvic nature, it will lead to peace, shanti रहेगा. People will consider you as a more truthful person and you will be more compassionate. आप में दया ज़्यादा रहेगा. You will be more compassionate, you will be more kind to people. That's how it will be sattvic gun. Where this is found? In the great leaders, the wise leaders, they have sattvic gun. Good scholars, they have sattvic gun. And the true yogis, I am not talking of the bad yogis, but who are the true yogis, the monks, they will have it. And many selfless workers, there are workers जो खुद अपना नहीं सोच के, who are always willing to help others, selfless workers, that will be there. What kind of food normally considered sattvic food? If you have fruits, vegetables, nuts, milk, this is normally considered as the sattvic food. ज़्यादा fresh foods खाना, सब्जी खाना, that is normally considered as which will actually help you to have sattvic guns. Now coming to rajasic gun, we are not saying that rajasic gun is bad, we are just saying in this order, so number 2, but it's absolutely all right. It will represent desire, endless desires. Today I have done this, today I have achieved this, tomorrow I will achieve that, day after tomorrow I will achieve that. He has bought his 3-room flat today, but is already thinking कि 3 साल के अंदर I will buy the 4-room flat. In next 5 years I have to go to Mercedes. So he is always looking for outside objects, very ambitious and always restless. Because of his ambition, he is always in a state of restlessness. So very competitive, lead to competition, lead to too much attachment to materialistic things and always achievement oriented. Found nothing wrong at all, because we need leaders. So it is found in business leaders, athletes and various. If you have to be in the Olympics, for example, if you are doing a race, absolutely all right to have Rajogun. There is nothing wrong to have this competition. What kind of foods? Spicy food. They love spicy food, oily food, caffeines and stimulating food. Again here my thing is not to tell you about superiority, inferiority, good and bad. I am just trying to tell you what is there in our scriptures, and based on your inner this thing you can decide, you can look inward. Instead of judging other people, you look inward and see what is driving you. If you are happy, whatever you are, that is fine. But if you are not, then you can review your value system. Tamo guna, I think maybe we can say may not be the best state, because you are a very lazy kind of person. No one likes a lazy person. In the project group, we don't want someone to therefore be having laziness in our group. He is also in a state of confusion and a negativity is there many times. So he is the first who will tell you कि ये नहीं हो सकता है. Unlike the Rajo person who will say कि होगा ही, मैं तो करूँगा ही, अकेले ही कर लूँगा. इसमें नेगेटिविटी बहुत ज़्यादा रहेगा. And what he will do is he will procrastination, delay करेगा सब काम. There will be dullness around him and there will be lack of clarity in him. In his thought process will not be clear and focused. So this, if you look around, you will find many of them who are lacking motivation and are very indulgent. It is generally found that these people like stale food, processed food or junk food, because this kind of foods makes you alsi or lethargy inducing. So again, friends, we discussed about these three gunas. I think everyone is a mixture of these sato gun, rajogun and tamogun. Everyone sometimes has to indulge in, sleeping a bit, procrastinating. It's in human nature. So you should not feel that you have not even having any tamogun. But as long as it is less, it is very good. And as long as the sattvic gun and the rajasic gun, they are more, I think a blend of the sattvic and rajasic is what you should try at least, right? Always like to make a table so that it sinks into your mind. So let's look at the various aspects and we have divided that into a table. So basically, in a nutshell, sattvic gun is about harmony and wisdom. Rajasic gun is about ambition and activity. And tamas gun is about inertia and darkness. So I think rajogun is also good because because we need people to be active, have ambition. But there has to be some kind of a sattvic thing also in that ambition, so that it is in the boundary of dharma, right? When he is running also, it is in the boundary of dharma. So the mindset of the person who has got a lot of sattva gun is got clarity, and we say that this person is a wise person. There are some people who are working on Sundays also. They are very, very restless kind of people, So that's the rajasic gun trait of the mindset. Like we told of dhyan, dhinaha. Mane kuch time you must give rest to your mind. So these people are never at rest. Even when they are sleeping, they are thinking of something. And tamas people always in a state of laziness and confused, not desirable, I think. Now, what will be the work ethic of that person? The person who is dominated by sattva gun will be an ethical person, honest person, dedicated to his work. The person with rajas gun will be hardworking but self-centered. He is only thinking of himself all the time. And the tamas person in the group will be unmotivated and careless. What about the decision making? The sattvic gun are very thoughtful and balanced. The rajasic gun are, we say he's a very aggressive person. So he's going to be very aggressive, he's going to push his ideas at you, impulsively decides. The tamas person on the other hand is going to be a careless person, right? What will be the health impact? When you are a sattvic person, you will be a very balanced person. You will be in a state in harmony with nature. Rajasic person, you see around in your office or in your college, some people are very stressed out. They are always stressed. Energy is also there, yet they are stressed out. That is driven by rajasic gun. And tamasic gun people are the unhealthy persons, lethargic. They are always feeling tired. They always want to go to sleep again. Now, when you come to spirituality, normally the people with dominance of sattvic gun will be seeking truth and self-awareness. Who am I? Why have I come for? What is the purpose of life? That's the kind of questions which will be there in a Sattvic Gun person. The person with Rajasic Gun will seek power and rewards all the time, right? Always interested कि इसमें मुझे क्या मिलेगा? What is there for me? And how many people are going to report to me? Is always in a situation of power and getting rewards. And the tamasic person is going to indulge in ignorance, not interested in either searching for truth or in leading a team of people, only interested in laziness. So, whereas the tamasic gun of sleeping and laziness comes naturally to us, the sattva gun may not come naturally to us. So, therefore, I built a slide on cultivating the sattva gun which will not come naturally to you. So, no one wants to sit down and do meditation, but you have to have a niyam. Let's say in the evening 10 minutes or in the morning 10 minutes, I am going to do meditation. This is, you have to force yourself to do it, right? This is a time for your, if not 20 minutes, do it for 10 minutes. If not 10 minutes, do it for 5 minutes at least. Take out some time and fix the time. Like we have time for dinner, let's have time for some spiritual nourishment also, or the mind nourishment. And eat pure, healthy and fresh food. Don't eat food which has been there for very long. So, eating pure food, fresh food, it is difficult now because the food is always in the refrigerator, and gone are the days when we used to stay in our village or with our grandfathers, and every day the food was cooked fresh and eat. The soil was full of nutrients. I think the nutrients of soil is also gone away. So, it is difficult, and that's why we are finding people with bad tempers all the time maybe. So, engage yourself in learning, reading and wisdom seeking. Let me tell you friends, reading is always very difficult, not only for you, for everyone. किताब खोल के पढ़ना बहुत difficult काम है. But आपको routine बना के, you must have a routine and you must say, okay, 20 minutes in a day I am going to learn something new. Your mobile phones and reels is not a substitute all the time. Seeing videos is not a substitute. And be very kind to people, kind to every insect also. If possible, if you are walking, you are seeing a small insect, cross it, don't kill it. Whereas it is always natural for us to always think of ourselves. Try to become selfless. Don't think all the time about yourself. And though it's easy to tell lies and get away, try to be truthful, because honesty and truth, they are always the best policy. If it was said 1000 years back, it will be there for the next 1000 years also, that honesty and truth are the best policies of life. Rajas is good because that helps you to drive yourself, but as long as you have Sattvic Gun, you balance the ambition within the boundaries of dharma. Don't do that to win a race. You will trample someone. That is the only thing. There is nothing wrong. Practice well, win race. Don't harm other people. And try to reduce tamas to as much as possible. Laziness is inherent in us, but try to reduce it as much as possible. So, what is the relevance of Guna theory in life or business and management? That basically ethical leaders that whom we want, you may not want to be ethical, but we all want to have a leader who is ethical. So, the ethical leader will be dominated by Sattva Gun. The over ambitious leaders will be dominated by Rajogun, and the weak leaders will be dominated by Tamogun. Sometimes, because your father is in a good position, this person may be able to get there, but if he is dominated by Tamogun, it will be a very sad situation. So, a dominance of Rajas in the boundaries of sattva will lead to your long-term success. Mental health has become a very important thing for all of us. So, the more you have sattva, it will reduce your stress and anxiety, right? So, try to, therefore, I am very much emphasizing that try to inculcate 40 to 50% of sattvic gun in your life. The quote from Bhagavad Gita, Slok 14, Slok 9 of chapter 14. Sattva binds one to happiness, Rajas to action, and Tamogun to ignorance. Moving on. So you may ask me that sir is wanting to be prosperous bad. In a campus interview is wanting to get the highest salary placement bad? At least in my view, no. It is good. Let us all try to become prosperous. But it is absolutely all right that in the placement process you are getting a company with good salary. But don't harm your colleagues on the way. That is the only request. We must plan to work sincerely, diligently, and try to be prosperous because it will lead to the economic growth of the country. What is the aim of life? Very clearly we have discussed this. Very clear, it is answer is there. It is dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So we must look for artha. We must have desires, kamana, nothing wrong, but in the boundaries of dharma. And at some stage of life, we know we are here as a tourist in this earth. We have to leave and go away. We are only temporary. We have got confirmed tickets to leave. So basically, moksha should be the aim. Aim is not, this is not the end aim. Arth and kam is there, but controlled by dharma and finally to reach self-realization. Okay, let us move on. Now we move on to another important theory, the OSHA model in Indian ethos. That is also derived from the word Om Shanti, because in India we are always looking for Shanti or peace. So from Om Shanti we have got this OSHA model, and there is the interconnectedness of spiritual, humanistic and aggressive aspects of human nature. So what are the acronym? OSHA. So O stands for oneness, S for spiritual, H for humanistic, and A for animalistic or the aggressive level of human behavior. So if you look at the Guna theory we just discussed, so basically S element has its close equivalent in Sattvic Gun, H the humanistic in the Rajasic Gun, and A could be somewhat is the animalistic or the Tamasic Gun. So in the Indian ethos, it is very important that you are able to connect with other people. Like it will be ideal for a teacher also to connect with his students, for a leader also to be connect with the people around him. That's why he is a leader, if he can connect with other people. So this spiritual and interconnected nature of all beings is represented by the word S, spiritualistic, oneness, oneness, O for oneness, spiritually interconnect, that's what it is. S, we have discussed again and again that you may not be following values, but you definitely want that your parents should follow all the right values. You want your teachers to follow values. You want the office boss to follow value. So you want the government to follow values. So basically S is the spiritual dimension, that is of values, ethics and dharma in business also. H is the humanistic, highlights the humanistic nature of individuals and the importance of empathy, dignity and liberty. That's what it is. So be a good human being, become a good insan, as we tell. And A is the aggressiveness. So that is it comes naturally to us that, in a bus we are trying to get up. We want to be the first to get up in the bus, pushing others. So we need for a balance and self-control. We are moving on to another theory called the K theory or the Kutum theory. In the Indian concept, we have a concept of Kutum or a family. This importance of creating within the office, can I create a family-like organization? We always say, I am working for my family is so good. So can I convert the office itself into a family-like situation where there is a sense of belonging and togetherness? Then you have this concept of a corporate rishi. Who is a rishi? He is a hermit, he is a sannyasi, he is a fakir. So concept of a corporate rishi refers to an ethical leader who embodies the principle of Indian ethos in the business practices. So he is a business leader, but he is like a hermit or like a rishi who is following good virtues even in the business. Then we move on to Veda model. So Veda, VEDA, it stands for vision, enlightenment, devotion and action. So it represents the integration of 4 paths to self-realization. That is Raj Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga. If you can integrate all 4 of them, so you become a holistic person. So a balanced approach to the material and the spiritual development of individuals in society, right? This is a modern framework inspired by the ancient Indian wisdom and is used to integrate value-based leadership with effective managerial practices. While there is no single standardized Veda model which is globally recognized in all management schools, various interpretations use Veda as an acronym or conceptual guide rooted in the Indian philosophy. So let's move on to the Rishi model of leadership, right? So here R represents righteousness, acting with integrity and dharma. So I stands for innovation. Innovate. You embrace the change but rooted in values. So in India also we are saying that from machine learning, we are going to AI, we are going to generative AI, but rooted in values. The difference is there. And we definitely want to respect the extraordinary technology companies which are sometimes called the Magnificent Seven, the Apple, the Amazon, the Nvidia, the Alphabet, the Meta, which you are all the time using, and they have made such a good change. But if you root them in values, what will happen is you will use AI also in an ethical way. So innovate but in values. Sustainability is very, very important. From just profit, let us move to triple bottom line: people, planet and profit. So today we are not only focusing on profit, we are also including people and planet, because our parents, grandparents gave us this earth. So let us not make so much profit and take it out everything in one day. There is nothing left for our children, our grandchildren, right? The idea should be to leave a earth, to leave a planet which is better than what we inherited. H is for harmony, promoting inner balance, team synergy and organizational unity. That is very important. I for inclusiveness. Today it's very, very important, because with the advent of globalization, there will be, your team may be in different countries. Within India also there is so much of diversity. So please value the diversity, have an empathy, respect for the different cultures, the different people that you have, and you create an environment where not only your culture is dominated, but you are respecting the other cultures also. Since we are very much dominated by the West, but I always told you about so many good things about the East, we are moving to a situation where we want to integrate the West and the East models. WE model means West plus East. So it integrates the rational and the objective approach of the Western management with the spiritual, value-centered approach of the Eastern philosophy. Is it not the best that you take the good things from the West and we think good about ourselves also, and we try to integrate that? So if you can combine the strengths, we should be able to create a very effective style of management. So the West focuses on IQ. We also talk of the emotional intelligence and the spiritual intelligence, right? That is the whole thing. And mindfulness in the workplace to boost resilience and focus. Innovation, very important, but guided by values. For example, we know that in this sci-fi movies, we are showing that the robots, they start destroying human beings itself. So that will happen if, we are living out of Frankenstein in the environment or creating demons. Your KPIs must include well-being, ethics and sustainability. Very important. Your leadership development, both head, the strategy part, and the heart. Head strategy, head empathy, both are important basically. So again, if you want to make a short summary of Indian ethos, it is an holistic approach. It emphasizes a holistic view of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things. In Sanskrit, yoga, karmasu, koshalam, this principle emphasizes the importance of skillfulness and expertise in one's work. Cooperation. The Indian ethos values cooperation and collaboration as essential for achieving the common goals. And what is very lofty, we are seeing the divine in all, that not only I am divine, every person with whom I am working, coming across, हम लोग बोलते हैं उसके अंदर भी देवता है. So we never kick anyone, because if you kick someone, we will kick the devata within him. So this is a very lofty idea, that seeing the divine in all. So Indian ethos emphasize the inherent divinity in all people and the importance of treating everyone with respect and dignity. If you are very open as a leader and you take ideas from everyone, who knows that one day, in one of the things you might get an idea from a junior person, because he's also coming to office, he's observing, he has been there for 20 years. So maybe he will give an idea which you never thought of. So it is very important that we treat people with respect and dignity, because that person who may be a janitor, but his work is also important. What will happen if that person does not come to office for 15 days, then you will realize his importance. So everyone is important in the organization. We have discussed over the last, we have 10 sessions of 60 minutes. So it is about 60 into 10, 600 minutes, not a matter of joke. So we have discussed many concepts, a few of them if possible, we'll just have a look at it once again. So how beautiful it is that our life has been divided into 4 stages. Young students like you are in Brahmacharya Asana. Those who are participants working are in the Grihastha Ashram. But then one day you know that you have to retire, you have to take a step back, go to Banprastha Ashram. Ultimately, you want complete self-realization, so you go to sannyas. This is told from our school days. Satyam vada dharmam chara, satya bolo dharm mein chalo. And janani janma bhumischa swargad api garyasi. That means our mother and motherland are higher than even heaven. So there is nothing wrong in going for a vacation, nothing wrong in going to a foreign country for a few years, but think of coming back to India and contribute to the GDP of India. So have a leadership which is Rajarshi, Raja plus Rishi. Raja does not mean only pomp and show. It is also about Tyag and Seva. Just one famous Indian group, the Tata Group, it's into salt, it's in software, it's in steel, it's in water. But the name Tata logo, it gives us a feeling of trust. So, other groups must also try to endeavor to build that trust. It has required hundreds of years to build this image of trust. So when we follow Labh and make it Shubh Labh, then you can do that. We discussed about that famous thing which is there, ghar ghar mein, in airport stations, about the chariot, where the chariot represents the human body, the 5 horses always running in the road of desire, but to be reined in by the mind. And the embodied thing is Arjun, but the main person, the charioteer, who is our Buddhi, who is the higher intellect, represented by Lord Krishna. The law of humility, that whereas there is a lot of aggressive people around you, but you should be the one who should be humble. Humble does not mean weak. It means a very, very realistic sense of yourself, which is neither inflating nor diminishing. You feel that you are good, others are also good, but I am also good. You are always open to feedback and learning. You are confident but not boastful. I did very well, but there is always to learn, right? So it's a very quiet strength. We all want to have excellence. In body, we call it health. In mind, we call it joy. In relationship, it is love. And in energy, it is ecstasy. So let us strive for excellence. We cannot avoid stress in today's world, but what you can do is to cope with the stress. So practice gratitude, engage in hobbies besides your office or studies, limit exposure to negativity like news and mobile phones, maintain a very positive outlook, and visualize yourself as a successful and happy person. Very important to have good self-esteem. You must love yourself. You must increase your self-esteem. Always believe that I can do it. People love me. I am worthy. I am good. I am not perfect. I did not be perfect. I am not perfect. I can make a mistake. But I am good. I am worthy. People love me. And I can do it. We need to increase our self-esteem. Forgive people. Don't look at other mistakes. Forgive them. You accept the disagreements and the failures around you. But you are not fearing uncertainty. You do not need approval all the time for someone to come and tell you that you are very good, and you want that person to tell you no one is going to tell you every day. Right? So look for happiness within. You are yourself, and life is not a race. We discussed many things of Bhagavad Gita. Today it is very easily available, but I will end, as we come to the end of this session, I'll end for something from chapter 18, which is the last chapter, and it's a song of God. Sri Krishna is telling, Sri Bhagavan is telling Arjun, when he sorrows no more, when he desires no more, when his soul equally loving all that lives, he loves well me who has made them and attains to me. By this same love and worship does he know me as I am, how high and wonderful, and knowing straightway he enters into me. And whatsoever deeds he does, fixed in me as his refuge, he has won forever and forever by my grace the eternal rest. So when you in your thoughts, you do all you do for me, you renounce to me, you sacrifice to me, you live in the faith of me. In faith of me, all dangers you shall vanquish. So I think you had a great learning session. I enjoyed delivering these sessions with a lot of preparation. I tried to give the best of the 40 years I had learned to give it to you. You take this as a infrastructure, the basic foundation, and you try to develop on this further. So we end with that customary thing. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai India, Jai Hind. Thank you.